and
Let's talk about my
deficits.
boy, my boy,
My boy,
my boy Paul Pelosi.
what about that? What about Big Paul?
Man, Big Paul could see the future, and he said, "I'm getting the fuck out of Nvidia stock," and sold 25,000 shares worth up to $5 million at a reported loss.
A loss. Didn't
See, when
Nancy
you
show a
initially sent
loss?
me, yeah, when you initially sent me this article, I was like, well, so the inside joke, or not even joke, but like thought is that Nancy Pelosi gives her husband, who's a prominent, Wall Street guy or whatever the fuck he does, um, insider information before the legislature comes out that affects all the stock of these companies, and they make a bunch of profit on it, right? That's been the thing for years. And you send me this article, I'm like, well, wait a second. So he's selling a bunch of stock before legislature comes out that is going to potentially bolster this stock for Nvidia. So like, what's the angle here? Like, I didn't know why you sent it to me at first, and then I was like, well, maybe they just did it for transparency's sake, like because they get a lot of criticism about this type of stuff. So let's just take this one L, and it'll get some of the heat off of the back of us, especially lately with people asking about, hey, should members of Congress even be allowed to buy and sell shares of these publicly traded companies? So yeah, before the Chips Plus bill came out, Paul Pelosi sold between 1 million and 5 million worth of Nvidia stock at a average price of $165.05 on July 26, according to mandatory congressional financial disclosure filed Tuesday by Nancy, the speaker. Now, that's pretty notable because Nancy rarely volunteers such detailed information about her husband's stock and stock option trades. But the Pelosi's have faced significant questions and criticism from the right in recent days about the timing of Paul Pelosi's Nvidia investments, because he had made a bunch of those purchases recently before this bill came out. So,
While
I
the
was
bill was going through Congress, he bought between 2.75 and $11.5 million of stock in Nvidia. And then once the bill hit, he sold. How much did he sell? 5 million.
and lost about 320 something thousand dollars worth of profit from that
Yeah.
sale.
So
And then Pelosi continuously denies that her capitalist husband trades stocks using information she gives to him. Absolutely not. Absolutely
yeah,
not, she
yeah,
says.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous concept. I don't know how I'm worth like $150 million and I'm a member of Congress, but
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean, I think it's total conflict of interest. And I don't know why. That's just what my
100%.
gut says. People in Congress trading because they work with Wall Street. That's who they work for.
Right.
So, and when COVID hit and the pandemic hit, there was a big pandemic. I don't know why I said it weird, but there was a big sell off of stocks. I remember reading about that time. There's always these people in
Yeah.
Congress, and it's her too, and it's the
Before the
same people.
lockdowns.
Yeah,
Before they knew they were going to lock down, they sold a shitload of stock of companies that they knew were going to suffer based on these fucking lockdowns. So they're a bunch of goddamn criminals, in my opinion.
yeah, and I don't think you'll be defending um, insider trading if you weren't insider trading,
No, exactly.
or you're of an expert. That's what I'm saying. She is an expert trader if she's so well in line with what the market's going to do that they have to investigate her for insider trading, basically, if that's what's happening. But that's my thinking. I mean, if they're
Yeah.
on you for insider trading, I mean, you done fucked up a bunch already. Stop acting like you ain't done nothing. That's my thing. And the reason I bring up these articles is because for me, they just raise red flags. I feel like if I can get to the bottom of this whole stock thing, which I'm sure there's a simple answer, some smart person would be like, "Oh, it's just money." But to get my head around who is selling and trading what companies and at what times in relation to the bills that are being passed, I feel like like watching a sport. You don't know what you're watching, and then when you get
Well, it's
familiar,
like if
like,
you
oh,
get
this. So trying to see their plays happen. That's what I feel like we can do is be like they do know it is insider trading. It's got to be.
yeah, it 100% is. You know, it's like if I were able to get all of the fucking information about Apple stock 2 weeks before earnings calls, right, where they're going to talk about, this is the profit we made last quarter, these are projections for next quarter, and you have an idea based on that how the stock's going to perform after that earnings call. Like I would know, like, hey, I know exactly when to buy and when to sell based on what information is about to come out. Like that's essentially what's happening here, but with legislature instead of like earnings announcements, essentially.
Yeah, and it's not because they work for the company. It's because they are.
Well, it's
And
illegal if you work. It's illegal if you work for the company to do that shit.
I know I'm just making a comparison. Like it's worse when they do it because it's not like they even work for the company, but they're compromised across many leaders of the company, and they're not in charge of a product. They're in charge of signing whether or not we get health care during a pandemic or not. And while they don't do that, then they go and sell stocks because of their insider tips because they're not working for us. They're working for Wall Street. So they don't take a big hit when the economy is about to crash because we're taking all the hits. So it's like super, 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 super fucked up
Yeah,
that
super fucked
they're.
up.
I mean, I wouldn't be so worried about it if they would just take care of us a little more, you know? What does that even mean? But I just think about healthcare as kind of a big thing I harp on
Yeah.
because there's no reason why it shouldn't be happening.
Let's
On
just read
Flint.
the end of this article, right? So, the speaker's husband's trades also arise at a time when Congress is debating whether its members and their spouses should even be able to be allowed to buy, sell, and hold individual stocks at all. Pelosi herself originally opposed this idea, saying, "We are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that." Well, talking about her fucking self. She ultimately backtracked after sharp criticism from members of Congress on both sides of the aisle and the general public, allowing bipartisan groups of lawmakers to draft bills and hold a public hearing. I've said to the House Administration Committee, review all the bills that are coming in and see which ones, where the support is in our caucus. If members want to do that, I'm okay with that. Despite several proposed bills from Republicans and Democrats in both chambers, not a single one has been brought to a vote. Representative Abigail Spanberger told Insider that she thinks leadership is trying to run out the clock and that the push has been halted by anyone who has the ability to move the bills forward. So these bills are limiting the ability for Congress to buy and sell stock, right? So no one's they're putting on this big show for the public. Oh, we're going to do something about it, but like no one's moving at all to actually take action on this.
Yeah,
Speaker
and
Pelosi herself doesn't trade stocks, but her husband is a frequent investor. Insider collected each of his trades that the speaker reported in 2021 and 2022. Many of his trades are worth millions. And a previous analysis from Insider found in late 2021 that the speaker is ranked as the 14th wealthiest member of Congress with an estimated net worth of at least $46,123,051 as a
dang.
public servant.
This is a rhetorical question, but who do you think she's getting all that money from?
Her husband in the fucking in the trades that he's making based on the information she's giving him. It's a dirty, dirty game.
Yeah, and
So
you said something earlier about maybe they'd be doing this just to cover themselves. And in one of these other articles, there's just a spot where a Schwab, who was Schwab? I think it's the representative. No, 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 no. And he said their defense was basically I didn't profit off my conflict of interest. And Schwab was saying that's not a defense. So I think you nailed it. I think that's one of the angles here that they're doing these sales is to show that they have losses. And yeah, it's conflict of interest, but we didn't even profit though after this bill comes out. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Oh, and here's the funny thing, right? So they made these sales. This article came out July 27th, 2022.
Share it, please.
Sure.
Kindly. Dude wore
And
his
I'm like
black shirt.
I'm perusing through Google News earlier today, and I noticed that there's this other, I guess, investment company that sold $15 million worth of Nvidia stock today. I'm like, okay, well, why
Why
Why did they sell
Nvidia?
this $15 million Nvidia stock? And then I say, well, what's going on with Nvidia stock right now? And here you go.
Oh, is the
Nvidia,
logo a slice of pizza or
I don't
like a
know.
666?
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Symbology. Okay,
I
go
get
on.
it. Nvidia plunges after Q2 preliminary results show weaker gaming revenue. And this came out on August 9th, 2022. So he sold his shares late July. And then you have this analysis that Nvidia comes out with a statement saying basically we're going to have weaker revenue coming out before this next quarterly earnings call, that because of weaker gaming revenue essentially. So he saw the future again. You know, they had this chips bill coming out. He was gonna make a bunch of money on that. A bunch of heat comes down on them from Congress, like, hey, you guys shouldn't be allowed to do this type of shit. You know this legislation is about to come through. Oh, no big deal. Let me sell off what I have. I'm gonna take it out of loss. Yet he would have potentially lost even more because
Their sales were down.
yes.
Okay, so you're saying this article right here about the Nvidia stock plunging, their sales plummeting, that was after they sold stocks when the bill
Yes.
happened. So
So he could have lost a lot more money.
so he did know the future.
I think I guess I
Bro,
don't,
if you
maybe I'm too stupid to understand this shit, but this is just the way the timeline's playing out to me.
listen, bro, we have to just watch sitting members of Congress and their trading. And
Boy,
that's
yeah,
how we
there's a
trade.
Pelosi stock trader Twitter account that shows you all the Pelosi trades that actually happen. Did you not know this? You
No,
can actually
dude.
invest exactly as Pelosi. She's better at investing than Warren Buffett is. You know that?
Really?
She has a better return than Warren Buffett does.
Oh, she's not compromised.
Not at all. Not at all. They're just
Wow.
that good
I
at
wonder why we didn't get
they're just
health
that
care.
good at it, bro.
Wow. That's amazing. Pelosi
Yeah.
stock trader account. There's some funny people out there, man. That's
Incredible.
funny.
This is incredible to me. So the Santa Clara, California-based chipmaker released preliminary second quarter earnings yesterday, showing revenue reaching 6.7 billion, well below its earlier outlook of 8.1 billion. The revised figures represent the top line contracting 19% sequentially from the previous quarter and 3% from the prior year. So, I mean, he's just real good, dude. He knew that they were going to miss their target by $2 billion or so, or a little less than 2 billion, and he got out at the right time, man. Yeah, he lost a little bit. He lost 320 something $1,000, but it's a drop in the bat. It's fucking nothing, bro. Off a $5 million trade. Incredible. It fucking
Yeah.
incredible. Really is, man.
Yeah. What do you think the average person would say if you tried to boil this down and bring it up real quick?
I couldn't describe this well enough to boil it down for the average person without pulling these articles up and showing them side by side with each other. So I don't know.
Like if you were
Because
to
it's
say,
complicated shit, man. I mean,
yeah, it is.
you got to be in it to really see how fucking crooked and corrupt these people are. And the average person going to work every day, they don't have time to fucking look at this stuff, dude.
That's what makes us and our show special because we do it for y'all. So you just have to
That's right.
listen.
That's why
and
we do it.
we'll keep you up to date, as well as sprinkling in deep dives about archaeology and other topics. But I feel like the current events, they're always happening. So it's like we got to keep up with this and then add this stuff on, you know.
Yeah, I think that the common thread of our show is just we're constantly searching for truth in all things, whether it be ancient history, conspiracies, current events.
I've always said
What
that
we're
we're
doing.
learning what we don't know about what we do know. But I don't know if that's a good tagline or not. It hasn't seemed to been going viral or nothing or really taken off lately.
Well, with our 17 listeners, it's hard to
Yeah.
go viral with that. So
Thank
just
you,
let it grow,
everybody.
man. Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you for
everybody.
everyone stuck in there.
Water in the garden. Yeah, so fucking wow, huh? That's how the world works.
That's how the world works. That's we missed. So our boy, let me. Are you seeing this? So
Oh yeah.
let's check out our boy Paul. This was a
Big Paw Pell.
Big Paul Pell partying too hard, bro.
Paul Pell partying.
Paul Pell's
Can
partying
you
too
share the
hard. Let's watch it.
sound?
Yeah, hold
Wait,
on.
let
Let me see if
me-
I let me see if I can get this. Let me stop sharing because I haven't even watched this yet. I wanted to watch this live on air.
Oh, live reaction. Perfect. Live reaction.
Perfect.
Skepsis Telegraph live reaction to Big Paul.
All right, let's see.
Big Paul got a DUI.
You think you're physically able to balance on one foot or another? No. Yeah, I don't want you to injure yourself if you can't.
Paul P, baby.
He's standing at the hood of the car trying to do a balance test.
Looking sharp. Your boy's a little wobbly.
You
Little
seem pretty
wobbly.
shaky on your legs, and I don't want you to fall over. So.
Well, I'm not going to fall over. It's just a question of
Right. Well, just based on what I'm seeing, I don't feel comfortable having you perform the test because I don't want you to have the potential to fall over and hurt yourself. That's not what I'm trying to accomplish. Are you willing to do the breathalyzer test?
May 28th.
I don't think so. We did all this test.
Right. No, I understand you want to go home.
This was a while, and we just heard
I
about it.
understand that you
Yeah.
want to go home, but
Saw the news
but you
about
got to
today.
understand from my
A
standpoint.
DUI
right?
sucks so
You're
bad.
involved in
This
a
guy
crash.
wishes he could
Right.
go
There's
home
no
to his
alcohol
wife,
coming from your
Nancy
breath.
Pelosi.
I can see you're very unsteady on your feet. So you see where it's concerning to me? Right. I understand what you told me, but on my end, you also got to look at from my end. I smell the alcohol.
So is he
on your
just
breath.
stalling
I
right
see how
now?
unsteady you are on your feet. So each
Cut
man,
to scene.
no
Now he's
LLC,
standing with his hands in his
Mr.
pocket,
Blomberg respond
realizing
30
he's
seconds.
fucked.
He did finger
Look at the
count.
look
He
on his
performed,
face. That's the
fine.
look of a man
But
who
in
knows
terms
he's
of-
like
of what my
likely
command
fucked
and
right
wanted
now.
to- Well, I didn't even have
Take a
him
little
do it.
stroll
I
over
mean, he's
here.
so rich, though.
Yeah,
He's not
constantly
worried
grabbing
about
onto the
this.
control card just to be able to keep his balance.
Yeah, so our boy Paul P got a DUI.
This phone belongs
Wow.
to a
Did
kid
you
who
see
went
the way he walked away like that? I mean, I would never
Yeah.
walk away from where the cop told me to stand. He just was like, all right, I'm like you're done in a conversation and you just kind of mosey off. That's what he did at the front of the cop car.
He's 82.
82, man.
Sentenced to 5 days in jail, 3 years probation. He crashed, so that's why he was initially stopped. He crashed.